Okay. Woo! This thing work? I'm not sure if this works or not. Maybe. So I am going to hopefully let this run. I'm gonna let this run to see if it works or not. That is all I can do. There's no intro, there's nothing special going on. Just my big weird face on camera. Overloaded. Okay, I gotta close a couple stuff here. I'm gonna start shutting down things. Okay, let me close this. I'm gonna close this. Work with me, guys. Work with me. Trying to figure it out. The camera must stay on. The camera has to stay on. Because I'll be painting the door. See? Consider turning down video. Hold on, let me figure that out. Consider turning down video setting. Video setting. Alright, let me see this. Turning down video setting. Yeah, I cannot do that because it's already like, yeah, it's already doing it. I see that it's dropping frames. I don't know why. Still trying to figure it out. So bear with me, guys. Figuring it out. Figuring it out. I am attempting to the camera when it grabs a lot of movement and it's a lot. Now, so far it's working. Yeah, the sound is awful. See, it keeps dropping frames. Encoder overloaded. Because I got a video to play over here in the background, and I think if I play it, so you guys can hear something, you know, in the background while I paint. So I don't know if I play this, and you might, I know it's awful. So if I play this video, I don't know if you'll be able to hear it properly.
Wow.
Let's hear.
Good show.
Yeah, Cliff. You know, I thought about that for a while. Even going back to the early days when I started the channel.
I'm gonna mute my microphone.
And I don't know. I've just resisted moving away from this topic until I thought I was done with it. But I'm pretty close to the point of being done.
Yeah, I'm pretty done with it. So I moved along, and it's been good.
Yeah.
Because you know, the flat earth is the truth, and you know it now.
John.
No. Y'all ran out of anything that could in any way be considered a decent argument.
I thought maybe there was somebody on your side that could make an argument, but obviously that is not true.
Blue. You know you are down now. I'm sorry. It's very sorry for you, but
I'm not done, John.
Left.
You act like somebody's going to fire me. Who the fuck do you think I work for, John? You think somebody's going to fire me? You think somebody's going to tell me I can't do these videos anymore? What is wrong with you?
Nobody can think you're serious any longer.
Look, you guys didn't think it was serious to begin with, so it doesn't make a shit to me. Nobody on this side thinks the way you think.
Come on,
I don't think
I hate to tell you,
John. Go down the list, John. Take a poll.
Your own folks don't listen to you any longer.
John, by the way, that's a lie. So
Okay, maybe the hardest core, but not the people outside your
Really?
ring.
Well, John, I mean,
John.
wouldn't you say the same thing about Anthony Riley?
Riley is very, very strange man. Sometimes,
Yeah, but I mean,
tell you
you know,
this, but so are
even he will go through and make these videos and things like that. And I mean, even people on the flat Earth side will say his math is completely off. I mean, so do you trust him? Would you have any trust in him?
I don't like him so much. No.
Well, I think we're both in agreement there.
Okay.
John, I hate to tell you this, flat Earth's a joke. I don't understand why you.
Why
don't
do you
get
say that? Are you saying that I am a joke?
Yeah.
Actually,
Yes,
I'll say that.
basically.
Yes, you
Yeah.
are.
Yes, you are.
You're amusing and you're a joke in a little sad way. Yes.
It's no way.
Oh, yes, why?
Okay, we can take it from the start. We can measure the distances with many arguments. Vi kan använda laser, vi kan använda microwaves, vi kan use microwaves, vi kan use eyes, we can use cameras, we can use radar, we can use low kick.
And everything that you have just mentioned says the Earth is spherical. So what's your point? And so what's your point? Everything you said measures the Earth as a sphere. So what's your point?
I'm not finished. And the sun and the natural law.
Natural law.
Yeah,
What is natural law,
Did you
John?
just say you're the natural law?
What is natural law, John?
John is the natural law, Bob. You just said that.
Natural law is not
Okay.
it's a fact that you cannot move to right or left. Is the reality we live in.
Okay. Well,
Natural
thanks
law.
very much for your contributions, John. I'll see you later.
John, I would like
What?
you to know
What?
that I'm an Aviator.
Okay, you don't answer. Okay, I understand. Second law of thermodynamics.
What about it?
You cannot go against it.
Who said we are?
What does it say?
What is the
Okay,
second law
I-
of thermodynamics?
I will ask you. Do you really think Newton's law is the real thing?
No.
It's
We're
a
talking
law.
second law of thermodynamics. I have a question for you, John. All right. You ready? Are you ready?
Yeah. Okay, I'm ready.
Okay. Now, water is a small molecule and has three atoms in it, right? Hydrogen,
Okay.
hydrogen, and oxygen. And
Yeah.
carbon dioxide is also a small molecule that only has three atoms in it, carbon and two oxygens, right?
Yeah.
So if you take 6 of each, you have 12 molecules with 3 atoms each, right?
Let me think. Can you say it again?
Yes, you have 12 molecules that have 3 atoms in them each. So you have 12 units of molecules. Okay,
Mhm.
you with me?
Okay. I'm
Great.
with you.
And you can create 2 other types of molecules out of them. You can create 6 oxygen molecules that have 2 oxygens in them each. That's 12, right? 12 atoms.
How do you do that?
Then you also make a glucose molecule that has 24 atoms in it. Are you increasing complexity or decreasing it?
It's about the pressure and.
No,
and
are you
the
increasing it? You go from 12 molecules down to 7 molecules, and one of them has 24 atoms in it. So, are you increasing complexity or decreasing complexity?
It's more pressure, so you are.
Yes, you're increasing the complexity. So you're violating the second law of thermodynamics. You're going from simple to complex. How can you do that and not be a violation of the second law of thermodynamics?
You know, it's like Gauss law. The Gauss law.
Okay, does God say that we can do that?
You know, if you have gas pressure, it doesn't matter what happens in. Hey, listen to me. It doesn't happen. Doesn't matter what has happened in the system.
But it's a violation of the second law of thermodynamics.
No,
how on earth could that happen?
How? No, you're cherry picking.
How's that not a violation of the second law of thermodynamics?
You have to take the whole thing, and you have to take the whole system and understand the whole system.
I took the whole system.
No, it's not like a
What am I missing from the system, John?
It's not like a tube.
What am I missing from the system, John?
It's dynamic system.
Great. What am I missing from the system, John?
There's so many things that come in to change from the system you are ascribing. It's like a tube. It's not a tube.
All right,
it's dynamic system.
John, I'll make a deal with you. You come by my video, you come by my channel tomorrow night at 7, and Blue and I are going to talk about how that happens and why it's not a violation of the second law of thermodynamics. And maybe you'll learn something.
You are fucking pseudoscience.
Well, stop by tomorrow night and maybe learn something about photosynthesis, because that's what photosynthesis is, dumbass.
Okay, I will come. I will do that. I will do that. But I will fight
you
against
see the top,
your.
you see the top, Ken? If you click the screen, Ken, you got a CC in the top, the closed captions in the phone. Click the screen, you got CC in the phone, and you can activate your own closed captions. If not, on the computer, hover your mouse, and in the bottom top, you got turn on captions, and you can have your own closed captions. It's on you, your end.
They can't keep up.
Sorry about that, guys. I know that was a very basic lesson for everybody, but I was trying to make a point to John.
It's all right. I don't police the after shows. I mean, I'm here. I hang out for a few minutes, and in a minute, I put my phone in a corner, and I'll just go on my business. Oh, man. Every once in a while, I just grab the phone and listen to see if it's still going on, you know?
I'm still trying to figure out who removed me from the last meeting.
This today earlier, nobody, you dropped. I mean, nobody. I'm the only one capable of removing you, and I didn't remove anybody whatsoever today. You just dropped for some reason.
Okay. All right.
Because I didn't have to accept you back in. You just click the link and you join directly. Because if you were booted, I would have to accept you again. And you just
the message that came up on my phone. The message that came up on my phone was that I was removed from the meeting.
Yeah, but it shows that when you got a network issue or, connection issue, it just kicks you out every once in a while. I mean, it does happen to me on the phone when I'm on my phone.
Yeah, I've had that happen.
But
Fair enough. I was just thinking I pissed somebody off, but I'm glad to hear I didn't.
Yeah, but when you came back, you click the link and you just was asked join now instead of asked to join. So you were able to just click and join directly in the second when you just rejoined.
Yeah, if it does the same thing it does, like when you push the leave the call button down there, when you come back, you just touch, you just say join the meeting, and you don't have to be let back in or anything.
Yeah. When you're coming in for the first time, you got the option as ask to join meeting.
By the way, in the chat, I see a note here from Jay Acito. Yeah, I wasn't talking about the gas laws. I was talking about photosynthesis, actually. And we'll actually go into photosynthesis and cellular respiration, which is the reverse process, during our meeting with Blue, because that was a big part of QE's argument.
Yeah, I thought it was a little unusual that QE found what I said to be somehow or the other wrong.
Well, just to give you a little hint in advance, guys, because Blue and I will talk about this tomorrow night. But what QE did was he seized upon your statement that it took carbon dioxide, the plants took in carbon dioxide and spat out oxygen. He tried to make that into the oxygen that is released by the plant comes directly from the carbon dioxide, when in reality it comes from the water.
Yeah, you got to have the water in there, of course.
Yeah.
I didn't,
but the actual oxygen that's released as gaseous oxygen comes from the oxygen molecules in the water.
Yeah.
The oxygen molecules that are in the carbon dioxide go in to form glucose.
Yeah, they're still.
And that's what he was trying to seize on to say that you were wrong. But the bottom line is you have to have the water and the carbon dioxide to get glucose and oxygen out the other end. It doesn't matter where the actual atoms come from. They are both required.
Oxygens are already bonded to the carbon.
Yeah. And they just did some research where they tagged oxygen and found that indeed the oxygen that's released in photosynthesis comes from the water rather than the carbon dioxide. But you got to have a carbon source to form glucose. And they're already bonded. So, I mean, all it does is it takes actually the hydrogens from the water and adds to it.
Right. For fuck's sake, plants are not made out of carbon, are they? No. Of course not. Obviously, plants don't take carbon dioxide, break it up, and keep just hang on to carbon and spit out the oxygen. What's left? Carbon. Plants aren't made out of carbon, for God's sakes.
Laurie, I muted you. Hot mic.
Okay, I see where he was going then. Well, he went the wrong way, didn't he?
That's interesting. Everybody calling you out, Blue, today?
Yeah, it's okay.
And you got Chris Matt tomorrow. Hopefully that happens, because Chris Matt is at least, I think it could go a lot better than it went with the Brian.
I've had decent discussions with Chris. Absolutely.
And then Brian's logic was the day for tomorrow that he said, Thursday, I'm willing to take on anybody, but if you and Chris Matt come in before first, if Brian Logic show up in the chat, then I will then move on to Brian's Logic versus whoever wants to jump in the panel versus him, That'll be cool. 2 one-on-ones in one day. I like it.
Yeah, nobody wants to talk to me.
Hey, Jose, when you're on, you seem to be feeding back a little bit.
Yeah, I got it on my phone, and I got it a little far away now. I think it's better now. I got on my laptop and on my phone, because I'm about to hang up on the laptop and keep it on my phone. Very cool show. Very interesting indeed today.
That's one way of putting it, yeah.
I shouldn't.
Yeah, I shouldn't do this because this is kind of a personal thing. But Bob, like, man, what went down with Sean G yesterday? You didn't leave happy, huh?
Well, the truth of the matter is that I was waiting for Sean to come in. That's one of the reasons I came over. I wanted to apologize to him publicly for handling it the way that I did. I should have handled it through a DM. It would not have changed the outcome of it, but basically I'm going to be over here.
Yeah, and it happens, We all got a little bumping heads, and it have happened to you and myself sometimes. But we move on, We'll learn from little experiences. Yep, that's it. With that, we are grown up, That's the way we do it.
Yeah, and the bottom line is that I like Sean very much. and I feel that, you know, we had a very good time on his channel, but he's getting a little heavy into people like Right the Hand and Slick James and things like that. And, you know, it's just basically time we part spoons.
Yep. There's an issue going on. Me now, Brenda. I think, was it yesterday after show? Brenda sent me a message on Skype. Like, Jose, you're going to get a strike. I'm going to flag your show for doxing and goodbye. I said, like, what the hell? I said, like, well, go fuck yourself. And I just blocked Brenda on the chat. I don't know. Maybe, you know what happened? I know Dan the Waterman was here, and Dan just called her a male name, Brandon or whatever. He said, like, no, Brandon, this and that. And I just stopped it, like, dude, Dan the Waterman, like, you didn't need to do that. And Brenda went off, no, F you, motherfucker. And I just, all right, that's it. You let it out, Brenda? Bruce, he called it Bruce. You let it out, Brenda, all right? Then don't do it again. Like, there's no need for that, you know, no sexism. And that was all. Now, the name that Dan called her was her actual, you know, name or whatever. I mean, I don't know. It was just a silly troll comment, unnecessary. Yes, but the way Brenda reacted at the end
yesterday is not only was it the issue with the rap music being played to specifically disrupt the chat. You know, he not only went after me personally, which I can handle. I'm a big boy. He also went after my wife. And I draw the line at that. And that was that. And, you know, I put a comment in the chat, you know, in the Discord chat, you know, Sean, have a look at this. And, you know, and I was obviously rather upset with the stuff that he talked about with my wife. So I put a note in there for him to have a look at it. And the next thing I know, the next day, he's got that fucker moderating a conversation. So I figured that if that's the direction he wants to take the channel, I'm okay with that. I mean, it doesn't really matter what my opinion is on where he wants to take his channel. It is up to me to decide whether or not I want to continue to be part of it. And I made the decision that I didn't want to be part of it.
Yeah, that's your choice. And then the way I do it, and the way you've been doing it too, you say like, hey, Jose, yep, I'm not going to deal with whatever, Lemon, or about good. I said like, yeah, good call. I mean, if you don't want to engage or be part of it, you can just step out on your own. And that's the only way to fix it, you know? What do you think?
The key to it is, you know, the difference is, Jose, is that you sit down and say, we're not going to have memes on this channel. You address it. And I'm fine with that. And then, you know, you've done your part as the moderator of the channel. And I'm satisfied with that. You know, you do the best you can. Some of these people just continue to go off. But if you don't address it and it continues, then, or you know, you make Lemon a co-host of the show or something or other.
Oh, yeah, no, exactly.
I don't think that I'd really want to, I don't think I'd want to be part of that.
I understand. Yeah, I'll continue doing what I'm doing.
Anything with me, with how I feel about you. It isn't anything about how I feel about Sean. It's just I don't want to be a part of that, and that's not.
Yeah, the format. Yeah, the format, the way it's going. I know, you know. Yeah.
Hey, Dr. Bob, not to make you rehash it or anything, but I didn't see any of this at all, and I didn't even hear about it until just now. So I kind of feel like I have no idea what's going on. But the one question I had, did somebody play rap music during you trying to speak?
No, he played rap music. What he did was he locked his audio on, playing rap music to disrupt the entire chat. We actually ended up having to go over to Discord. You know, he was muting us.
He's known for that.
No, who was this? Who did this?
Slick James.
Slick James.
Wow.
He's done this in the past.
Oh yeah.
Serious.
And then the next day, Sean has him moderated a debate. So not only wasn't it addressed, he was actually promoted, so to say, on the channel to a position where he was being promoted on the channel as a moderator.
Wow.
Now, a quick point that has to be addressed that actually Shonji said, and I believe him because I have done it. Like yesterday, I was barely in the after show. I hit recording and I went. I wasn't even on the phone on the call. Maybe 3 hours later, I came back. I go like, holy shit. Then the waterman is still going with Stingray. What the hell happened during those 3 hours that I wasn't there? I don't know. So Chunji, he escaped, say like, dude, I just hit recording and I just go on my way. I went away. I don't know, maybe late at night, I just came back and just stopped the recording, but he didn't know what went down.
That's
and
my
I
fault.
could believe in that, you know. Yeah.
That's my fault. All right.
Yeah.
That was a wrong move on my part. I should have handled this privately with Sean, and I will publicly apologize to him for that. But the bottom line is that I left a note for him in the chat, and not in the actual voice chat area, up where the text messages are put for that. I should have DM'd him, but I did actually make mention of it, and a lot of the other people had made mention of it. You know, Hannah was there. You know, you were there, Jose. You know, he had ample opportunity to know about this. It's not like it just caught him completely off guard. Now, I could have done it better. I certainly could have done it better.
Did Slick ever apologize for his behavior?
No, he actually doubled down. He said like, yeah, it's my call. If I feel like I don't want to leave anybody speak, I will just hijack it and just throw whatever I can do to hold the discussion. He actually said it live. That actually he did.
That's exactly what he said last night, and I hope Sean listens to that. But that's not the first time Slick's done this.
Yeah, when he did it before, I think Farmers was there, Stingray.
Can I be a neutral spectator in this? Last night when he started his show, he mentioned that anyone could come in and moderate if Slick James didn't show up. And I was joking and I was at work and I said, I'll do it. And he actually was going to allow me to be the moderator. And he did mention anyone with moderator power will be able to just mute people and keep them muted.
Yeah, but that was different.
That has nothing to do with that.
It was just an after show like this. Let's say I start rambling. I said, no, like Schrodinger's cat. Everybody shut the fuck up. You're going to listen me now. And if anybody tried to speak, Schrodinger's cat start talking. He said, oh, you're not going to let me talk. And he just blasts his music and start putting in his microphone and just playing loud rap music. Nobody's going to speak now. That's why he did. He hijacked the after show for himself.
It had nothing to do with the live show. It had
No.
That was the after show.
Somebody muted him, and he decided he would take over the show and just the after show and just ruin it for everybody. He's done it before. I've been in after shows when he has done exactly that before.
Yeah,
some of these after shows are cool because a lot of people that don't participate in live shows, they want to come into the after show and hear us like just normal people. We're not under pressure. We're not live having to say the right thing. It's a cool interaction. Why does somebody want to fuck that up like that? You know.
Well, you see, Jose, here's the point that I made. All right. You know me on your show. All right. I'm generally not all that abrasive or rude or anybody to anything. I tend to be kind of forceful at times, but you know, I got the game to back it up. But if I have one way of behaving when I'm being recorded and on your show, that's fine. But if I come out into the after show and I behave like that, are you going to continue to have me on your live show, knowing that that's the way I behave, is let loose?
Yeah, that will put, it will put I will pay a very close attention to you and, you know, just talk to you offline too. Like, you don't behave like this again, because it's true, you know, it's a destroyer for the interactions. That person will be a problem. Yeah.
By the way, the thing that set Slick off, I don't think anyone even muted him, because I was actually there in that discourse, and I think what I did finally triggered him to do that. Like, he was, firstly, he threatens people with that. Okay, if you don't behave like I want you to, I'm going to go on mute and blast music so no one can speak. So he did that first.
Awesome.
He did that all. Yeah, it was good music, but he disrupted the whole call. I think what I did to trigger him was just to speak over him a bit and repeat something he didn't like. I didn't even mute him. It was just an opinion he didn't like, and then he was like, yeah, fuck you, I'm off.
Well, I think the problem is that and I'm not trying to white knight for him or anything. I'm seeing both sides of it. I'm seeing that the conversation was going on, and someone did mute Slick, and then he tried to give a warning, and then he was muted again. But he was not even trying to have a conversation at that moment. He was just trying to impose his will on people. So I can see both sides of it at that point. But the continual just playing music, I mean, it really just drives people away.
Yeah, it is what it is. He's got the closed doors on him in many places. He barely have any places else to go. He go to Jim Panda and he just go crazy and controls the room. And then when he got a chance to be in one of these after shows or hangouts, that's all he want to do. He just want to control. He just want to let it all out. So I personally decided to step out of those calls like I did last night. He was in. I said like, yep, I'm out. You know, I'm done. Like, I'm not gonna be a part where he's gonna be just ranting and throwing his belief system out there and shit.
When I left that conversation, he had already steered it right back to where, to basically his script. He had already steered it back. After you left, I may have been in there for like 30 more minutes, and I see the conversation being steered back, and I was laughing because it was, somebody that was brand new to it, having a conversation with it. And so when I left, I told them all. I said, "Did you just see that? I was like, props to you, like, for steering the conversation directly where you wanted it to go."
Well, that's Slick's deal. That's the way somebody else talks. Now, it could be 25 other people taking turns, but every other time, Slick is the guy that's supposed to talk.
You know what's funny? Before I left, when somebody said like, all right, so can we find a subject that Slick is not interested in so he doesn't participate? And it's like, oh, good luck with that. And somebody said, all right, let's talk about vegetarianism. He's like, oh, I know a lot about that. I was a vegetarian. I'm on it. I'm in the conversation. I go like, oh, fuck, I'm out of here,
Yeah, but
I think that
you should have heard the shit we gave him about being a vegetarian gangster. I said, man, you got to be tough. That's like a boy named Sue, isn't it?
I get.
Look, I do want to say one. Oh, I'm sorry, Hannah.
Oh, that's all right.
The only thing that I want to say is I'm certainly not encouraging anybody not to go over to Sean's channel. I still have him listed as a recommended channel on mine, and the only thing that's really changed is I'm probably just not going to participate very much over there. And I will apologize. Hannah, I saw, later, I saw what you and I saw what Barney says, and I'm perfectly in agreement with both of you. I should have handled that properly through a DM. And that's on me.
Yeah, and also,
I did
one
something.
thing I have to point out.
Go ahead, Sean. Go ahead.
Yeah, one thing I have to point out is Sean in Discord, it's like when he's on, he's on there. When he's off, you won't get, just pinging him, you won't get any response. And he probably won't even read it.
I am somebody that just a few days ago, I did something that I am not proud of, and I am very proud of in the same breath. Something that went down with the Shields, with the Shields channel, with the EIE network. The day that Dick Dawson came in and I booted him because of whatever reason. Yep, you're out. I'm sorry. The boss cashed in because it's kind of part of the game. It wasn't with bad intentions. Now, that night I went to the Shields channel because it was the first time that they actually had a link out there. So I went over there. I said, hey, I came in to make a truce. Apologize. I just want to give you a shout out on my channel for a week, and it's fair. I just put your link in my description box, and now I want you to boot me from the call just to pay back, a payback. As a fun, I really meant it because I didn't want to have a chat with them. And they said like, no, we don't like that or whatever. And he said like, no, that was so Dick Dawson went off. We had an argument and I went off and I lost my shit. And I say things that I don't I'm not happy about it, but I don't regret. It is what it is. You know, it happened in their channel. But did you guys hear the details? Did you see the upload? Did I upload it on my channel? Did I make it a big deal? No, I just kind of touched it. I said something went down in the Shields network. That's it. It's done. I'm gonna give you a shout out in the daily basis. You're gonna have your link for a week in the description box. That's it. They're furious with me. They're angry that he's a rock mod and he's just a pawn and he's a shit, whatever. I don't care because I will not bring it into the live shows. At least I'm proud of that. I'm not proud of what I did live, but it's things that we learn from the mistakes, you know. So that's it. I'm done, you know. That shit that goes down and is not repeated again.
Jose, I have not and will not say any of those things. I've got this whole thing compartmentalized, so I'm staying. I'm Sweden on this one. I'm staying neutral.
Yeah. That was a me. I came in hot. I shouldn't react that way. It was me. I really wanted to make truth as for like, whatever went down. Let's move on. Just boot me now. And we all said I really wanted to be booted from the show as a fun, and I didn't have it my way, and I lost my shit. You know, to it. So.
No, I was not going to want to. I think that should be over. I don't understand the drama that's circulating behind that whole chain of events. It just was unnecessary, I think, in all cases. But one thing I did, we did discuss a little bit last night, a few of us that, and Lewis specifically mentioned, brought it up, and I think there's room for discussion. You know, the whole pay to boot thing anyway, or the perk of being a member, being able to remove somebody from the panel. When Chris paid for that to be able to remove Q, I don't think there should have been a hesitation, you know? Like, I didn't want Q to leave, but I understand that, you know, why Chris was upset, because he had a valid point. You know, that's part of his perks, you know, and if you're going to have those perks there at all, they should be upheld without hesitation, right?
Yeah, I should have just, I should have done it. I know. That was my bad. I hesitated in that one. I didn't,
Yeah.
I shouldn't.
It's going to be tough, Jose. This one, you know, with just, you know, me doing what I did to, what the guy's name? The guy with the good voice. What is his name?
Dick.
Yes. You know, that just pretty much, at least to me and probably to several other people, showed how that is going to work. You know, not so well. And I don't know. It might be a perk you want to maybe amend, possibly. I don't know, but it's going to be tough.
Can I give some clarification of why I did what I did?
It really doesn't matter, because
it doesn't matter. I understand. Yeah. I really understand totally, and I should take action as fast as possible, Lael, and I really want to apologize because I did not. It was because I was looking for it as it was entertaining and it was very interactive in the moment. I really wanted it to continue, but I should honor you with your power, and it's really my bad. I didn't do it. Okay.
Hey, Jose, can I just mention something to you about that? I mean, do you mind a little constructive criticism?
No, please, yeah.
All right. I don't know if anybody else on the panel feels this way, but if you have to pay to boot somebody that's being disruptive or is just going meme after meme after meme, you know, why is that even required? That is something that should be handled in the moderation of the channel. You know, why is there a need for us to do that? I mean,
there's no need. It was just a thought of mine. I said, like, if I do this membership, I want to do a little something different. Bring it a little more of the back in the day, the sniping, people coming to snipe somebody that they either dislike or they don't want to hear. So I wanted to do something kind of bring the best of both worlds. Not just because of pay and the money, but it's doing a little more interactive, you know?
You know, I can understand it, and I'm not worried about the money or anything like that. I don't think it's that, but the issue behind it is, you know, like, why should that be needed? I mean, why should it be a selling point for it?
Oh, no. Yeah, I will still do what I do, because if somebody really an a-hole from Globe or Flat that is just really disrespectful or disrupting or really, going nowhere, I will still moderate and I will do what I keep doing. I will remove the people if it's not, not necessary to have it there. If it's just a disruption and no progression, I will remove the person without even hesitating. I will still moderate. I will let it go to a little bit of a shit show, but I'm not gonna let it go to a like dick measuring competition for too long,
Can I just say, personally, the reason why I became a member was just purely to show support for the channel, and I don't actually know how to use any of these perks, and it's not really something I'd be interested in doing, to be honest. I understand.
But I'm the exact same way. I'm just doing it for the show. I have no intention of booting anyone. I think Chris, whatever the hell his last name is, should have been booted from the chat the other day for saying what he did about Q.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I appreciate that. And I know, like, for real, the perks is just like support, just have the little flip-flop symbol and use the icons and just have fun, and get your channel a shout out, like in the description box. It's legit, you really get a shout out on the channel. But then the second one will be the unlisted videos, and it's cool because if you get access to videos that nobody else has seen, and I got a shitload of after shows that they are fun, like this one or whatever. So
I just like to clear this up. I didn't join at the level I did just to boot people, because I'm a moderator in several places. Well, one less now, but I've never used my moderator powers just to do that. But in this instance, I thought it was harmless because I didn't even know the guy. He was just rambling on and on and on. So, I did what I did. But if it was just so I could boot people, I wouldn't have to go at the level that I did. Do you know what I mean?
All hail Twit.
Yeah, I know. And I know you're a big supporter of the channel, Twit, and I really appreciate it. And I know you enjoy it, and you give me good feedback, in direct messages and stuff. And thank you. Yeah, I will keep doing what I'm doing because I got the way I see these shows, it has to be some kind of a balance, It has to be entertaining, and it's going to be memes. It's going to be a little laugh, but I will not allow it to go disrespectful or harsh and personal attacks or nothing like that. So it's going to be a level of trolling, but with the best intentions to be entertained for a few hours,
By the way, Jose, about those privileges that we have, you should kind of promote that also to flat earthers who keep saying that this is a circle jerk and so on. You should mention that, first of all, this is an open panel, and secondly, if you just join a member, you can kick a few of the globbers off. And I don't think anyone would give a shit because if it means giving some room for some flat earthers and actually having a panel where there's a discussion about the topic.
Yeah, I understand that. And all people, free people, that he's a flat earther, he joined. He got the $10 for a month or whatever. So he get to hang out and watch the unlisted videos, the private videos and stuff. And he's a supporter of the channel. He have hooked me up a few times on PayPal, $20 and $25. And he's like a real solid Nathan Oakley fan, flat earther, but he have followed me since day one, also since I was a flat earther. And he's a decent guy in that sense. He said, like, I don't care where you at, I just support you and I like the show, So it's good, There's some people that keep it real like that, I appreciate that.
Yeah, but all the other flat earthers, the regulars that are there every day, they know all this, and they'll be the first ones to say, "Oh, it's an echo chamber," and they'll be the last ones to come in and talk. So.
Yeah, I like that old people, free people guy. He was trolling the shit out of John Bernard's in the chat, being a flat earther. He's like, "What the hell?" And he was typing memes, just fun comments. I like that. I appreciate that.
I can't wait to meet Bob the Flat Earth guy. I've never seen or heard from him before.
But that all people, free people, he's in chats. He doesn't I think he uploads. He got some uploads, but he's not a flatter, a globe debunker, or not. He doesn't post videos to debunk or attack people. He just participates in the chats a lot, and he throw a little super chat here and there. And he's just moving around. He's more of a Oakley fan and their crew, and then me on my channel. He always hanging around, but he's not a big voice. He's just a big participant in the chats.
Yeah, Bob the Flat Earth guy. He knows a lot of great people, a lot of special people, and he's going to do a lot of really great things.
All right, guys, I'm gonna drop here. You're not gonna hear me anymore. I'm gonna be listening over here on the phone. Boom.
Cool. Keep it flat.
Bob, can I get a hat?
Well, when I get the channel going, we're gonna get some.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're gonna have some MAFA hats, Make America Flat Again.
Oh yeah.
But of course, they're gonna have to be in blue.
Oh my God. That's so hilarious. Oh my God. Do you know if you did that, you'd make so much money off these guys? They would buy those hats.
Yeah, I'm sure they would.
They've definitely got a little market going for their Flat Earth merchandise. Now, I mean, it's a very small market, but they definitely come up with some original shit, right? I mean,
yeah, they do. They're interesting people, and I've always been amused by Flat Earth, but the thing that really got me into it to begin with is how on earth could people in the 21st century believe this? What kind of mental deficiency have they come up with? And what kind of personality disorder leads people to believe the earth is flat in the face of all the evidence to the contrary? And that's the thing that actually amazed me about it and fascinated me. I've done a little bit on it, but
Gem Panda, when he dresses him down for an adult, how does an adult in this day and age believe this is great?
Yeah.
Yeah.
The British accent.
Yes, yeah.
Yeah,
But,
Bob, I took
it's just kind of, there's only about a dozen of them that are prominent that make money off of the rest of them. And if you've got 100,000 people, I mean, let's be generous because we're generous people. But if you have 100,000 people supporting financially those 12, they can make a decent living on it. And that's why Nathan can sit on his couch and hit his kid.
Yep.
Yeah, I was trying to
actually
explain to
going out
someone.
and picking up cans or washing cars.
So I was telling a coworker today about Flat Earth, and they said, "Who are these people?" And I stole a line from you, Bob, but I credited you with it. There's the True Believers and the people that sell the True Believers T-shirts.
Yep. Yeah.
You got full credit. There was a
thanks.
citation at the bottom.
The only thing that I really, the thing that I really claim to the fame on is that the Flat Earth is the pet rock of YouTube and the internet. They, the only difference is A, pet rocks were real, and B, we all knew they were jokes. And I think that pretty much sums it all up.
So do you agree with me that it did start out as an internet joke and some people just took it and ran?
I think it started out as a mass movement from a comedy routine probably, but somebody discovered Robotham and, felt that this was a way that they could be special. I firmly believe, and I'm not anti-religious or anything, nor am I an atheist, but I firmly believe a lot of it has to do with young earth creationism and wanting to be special. They use the same arguments, the whole 9 yards. The second law of thermodynamics is a classic creationism argument as to why evolution cannot possibly occur.
I want to give a quick and big shout out to Channel Q because, believe it or not, Channel Q was a big part of where what we are all today on the flat Earth on YouTube. Without Channel Q, who knows if none of us would have been here on the flat Earth this discussion today. Believe me or not, because in 2012 and later in the early years, he collaborated with Matt Powerland on that. You know, she collaborated with him, and it was a lot of her.
I think she wrote the comedy routine for him.
So she's to blame for
a big part of this.
Yeah, basically. Yeah,
She explained that to me one day. I didn't believe her at first, but now I
You,
do.
you know the idea of the infinite plane? That's one of hers.
Yeah. You're a smart lady. And, you know, what they do is they have to have a backstory. And they took Robotham and they created a backstory between that and creationism and Genesis. And they synthesized it into this. You know, the arguments in the flat Earth are extremely well crafted. I mean, if you think about this gravity argument they have, it's a brilliant argument, an absolutely brilliant argument that they came up with. It may, you know, it's ridiculous, of course, but they put it together very, very well. And it's a very subtle thing that I don't think a lot of people picked up on. You know, gravity, by definition, debunks the flat Earth. So therefore, they have to come up with a way to debunk gravity or deny its existence. Sure. And they had a very elaborate backstory they put in on it, and it's very well put together. I mean, Joseph Goebbels would be pleased.
Yeah, as I've said before, they've reached the conclusion first, and then have to work backwards, and they have to get rid of everything that debunks their weird and outlandish beliefs. So gravity has to be fake, space has to be fake, because as soon as you admit that what we've got in space and the views we get from space are real, the Earth isn't flat. So you have to deny it. You have to. And they will go out of their way to redefine everything that we understand in simple words such as weight, mass, gravity. All of that has to be redefined.
Yep.
To try and suit this weird narrative that they have.
Yeah, I think.
Oh, sorry.
I was just going to say, yeah, I think that's a really, really important part of debunking and refuting flat Earth claims. Farmers just said, and it was said in Bob's one of Bob's recent videos. I mean, there's nothing wrong really with our understanding of gravity. No. The only reason they're trying to poke holes in it is because it completely precludes the existence of a flat Earth, because, you know, a flat plane would, under the force of gravity, conform to a sphere. That's the crux of it, and they never that's never kind of talked about. But that's why it's not a deficiency in our understanding of gravity. That's why.
But you see, in denying space, they also get around the inconvenient things like they can then say if space isn't real, then the planets that we see in our solar system are just lights, because space isn't real. So the planets can't be real, because if the planets are real, the Earth isn't flat, and if the planets are real, then we have, you know, we've put 12 men on the moon, and 1, 2, 3 countries, 3 separate companies have successfully landed probes and rovers on the moon. We've put stuff on Mars. We've put stuff on Venus. So you have to deny it all, because as soon as
I'm sorry, Flat Earth Bob's got to come out. Flat Earth Bob's got to come out. By we, you mean you personally did it? Were you part of that group? Were you one of the 12?
Well done, Bob. Thank you very much.
I really do think that's a key point in all of it, though, is that that's what they're trying to relay to us, that this is coming from their point, that we are only, even if you say you can test things for yourself, let's just use Cavendish for example. You guys, and most of you have done it probably, and I could go do it with some help, but I could do that. So I'm testing that for myself. But what they're pointing out is that even though you say it could be done, most of us aren't doing it, right? So we really are just believing, remember that word, and Bob telling me that he's done this, I could do it, and he would help me do it if I needed to, so I could do it for myself. But the point is that I'm still just taking his word for it that it can be done. You know what I mean? That's what they go off of all the time.
That's how knowledge works.
The problem I have with that idea is that, like with chemo, when I told him about me doing a math formula and figuring out the length of a shadow, he wanted me to videotape that. Why do I need to videotape it if I did it and I know that I did it and it worked?
Because he's a troll. He's trolling you, Chris.
But that's what the flat earthers are requiring for everybody to do, though. Every flat earther has a
It's very simple. It's very simple. They are willing to lie about anything, and they know they are. They know they're willing to, and they assume that everybody is like them.
Yeah, a projection for sure.
Could I
so
make
that's why
a
they're
suggestion?
asking you to film it, record it, so that they could at least have proof that you even tried to do it, and then they break down the recording in some weird way too. So
yeah,
it's a no-win situation.
Could I make a suggestion to everybody? Blue and I have started doing something that I think is a very good way to counter some of their arguments. I did it with the apparent horizon, and Blue did it with this Einsteinian versus Newtonian gravity constant. All right, if I want to sit down and talk about the apparent horizon, or somebody wants to talk about Newtonian physics, and they bring up the objection about how, well, you're not measuring the geometric, or you're not taking into account Einstein, fine. I'll tell you what, I'm going to calculate it using Newtonian gravity. You do the tensor calculus and figuring to Einstein, and let's see what the actual let's see what the actual difference is. Now, for example, if you look at the braking distance of an automobile, you can calculate that using Newtonian physics very nicely, and you can also calculate it using Einsteinian tensor calculus. And you will get a different answer, but the difference doesn't come out until about 30 decimal places. And then the question becomes, what's good enough?
That's actually very good. I like that.
Well, Bob,
I think that we ought to sit down and say, okay, well, tell me what the difference will be. What's the difference between the apparent and the geometric horizon? Here's a good example: 45,000 feet, 3.75 degrees horizontal dip. I'll calculate it using the geometric horizon, and you can calculate it doing the apparent horizon. Let's see what kind of a difference we get for the radius of the Earth. And by the way, it turns out to be about 0.8%. That's good enough for me.
Their overall response to that would be they try to refute you, they try to debunk it, but the bottom line would be that you've created math that works out to prove your globe. So they refute the math because they say we've just everything that could prove the globe, we've gone ahead and invented.
Well, just go ahead and show me what difference it'll make. I'm more than happy to, I want to hear you out. Tell me how much of a difference it'll make. You can't just sit down and scream, well, it's not according to Einstein, so therefore it's not right. Well, okay, well, tell me how Einstein differs from what I did. Tell me what kind of error I have. Go ahead and do the math for me there, Chief. Let's do it together.
Well, that's why they don't go with our math. I mean, look at Anthony with the 2 + 2 = 0. Or 2,
that was 5 divided by 0 equals 5.
Yeah. They don't even go with math because they have this whole new, they're trying to develop a whole legitimate, in their opinion, way of doing math.
They do have the order of operations wrong, though, in that math wasn't designed to decide the size of the Earth. Math was designed to prove smaller things, and we apply it to the Earth in a lot of cases. It was a functional thing that we used for something else.
I would like to take a look at one of their checking accounts and see how they decide how much money to spend and how much not to spend if math isn't real.
Well, you spend it until it's gone, and then you spend a little bit more, and then you replace it, and that way there it becomes a descending series.
Overdraft fees are fake.
Diminishing series. Sorry.
Schrodinger's cat. Even something more simple. Go to the grocery store and ring stuff through the register and let them add it all together and tell them, "Well, I don't trust your math because it supports the globe." And see if they say, "Okay, you can just go ahead and take that."
Just grab your shit and run out the door and say math isn't real.
I think a good little experiment or observation would be to actually to use Newtonian physics and Einsteinian physics. I mean, if you ask a flat earther, if you like Bob, you just said, I'll do Newtonian, and then offer the challenge to a flat earther to use Einsteinian physics. It's not going to happen. But if you could do a nice little video. Sorry about the noise, by the way. It's raining. But yeah, you could make a nice comparison video and just show just how similar the result is on Earth, and do it that way.
I can't. I think Blue probably could, but I can't.
No, I think Blue probably couldn't.
I probably could 20 years ago in college, but I've forgotten all that shit. I can do a simple derivative.
Well, the bottom line is I don't have the algebra to do calculus, and that's something I'm working on right now because I'd like to learn it. Something never said by a flat earther.
But during the lockdown, I would imagine that AB Science would be willing to turn his hand to something like that.
I'll get a hold of him and ask him. Maybe he would.
Yeah, I was screaming at the at YouTube one day because I wasn't on the panel when Pete Shea called somebody out. I forget who it was. It might have been Chris Lale. And he said, "What's the derivative of x squared?" And when whoever he was talking to didn't know, he said, "It's 2x." And I'm screaming at YouTube, "No, it's 2x plus c."
Awesome. I think that flies over most people.
But I think the context of that conversation is he was just throwing that out there to act like, "Oh, you don't know this, so you can't know the other math that you did is true."
Right, but then Pete Shea himself, after calling you out, he didn't know the correct answer because it's not 2x, it's 2x plus c.
Technically, it is.
It is. So, and I was like, "Oh, why am I not on the panel right now?" But Pete Shea would have just said Aristarchus.
Drink.
That was the thing that QE made a huge play about with Blue on his debunking video, and that is Einstein's universal gravitational equation, which is g times mass 1 mass 2 over the radius squared, or the distance squared, depending on what notation you want to use. That's not actually Newton's formula. Newton's formula was actually F is proportional to mass 1 mass 2 over radius squared. When you say it is proportional, that means that there is a constant to make it exact, and that constant is g. But that's so they're actually the same thing. When you say proportional, it implies that there's a constant involved.
it certainly does. And of course, Cavendish didn't do that. We know very well that didn't happen. Cavendish was not trying to establish the value of G.
No. Cavendish was trying to find the density.
Simply trying to weigh the damn Earth.
Well, he was trying to find the density of the Earth, and the question is how do you weigh the Earth from that? Well, you know the volume of the Earth, and you know all the objections QE is going to have when you sit down and talk about the known volume of the Earth.
You're you're weighing it when you think about what Cavendish did. What he was comparing it to was a lead ball about 12 inches in diameter that he had, which he could measure the weight of. He didn't particularly know what the mass was.
From that, get a density.
Yeah.
All right. He was comparing density to density. He was trying to establish a density of the Earth, I think. But in order to do that, you have to know the weight and the volume. We didn't know the weight. We did know the volume.
He knew he knew that the lead ball was 10 point whatever times the mass of a spherical foot of water. That's the equivalent size blob of water.
Right, I think that's how we determine density. He compared the density of the lead ball to the density of an equal volume of water.
Right.
Right. That's how you determine whether or not a ship will float and how much of it will float.
Certainly.
Right.
Yeah, you just build it, put it in the water, and see what happens.
Yeah, that's how a flat earther would do it.
Cross your fingers, hope for the best.
Yeah, let's build a $4 billion warship and just stick it in the water and see what happens.
Yeah, well, have you noticed that when they launch ships, they're only half full? Just in case.
Yep. Well, the thing about it is there's certain things about designing ships that are kind of important to know Newtonian physics about. For example, you could probably get a boat to float or a ship to float, but if you turn it 5 degrees and it rolls over and goes into the water, that's probably a bad thing and not very useful for a warship that fires guns. And
or when we land a carrier air group on top of it after it gets out to sea, what's going to happen there?
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Well, the way
kind of want to know that.
Make it capsize. Yeah. That kind of reduces the usefulness of the aircraft carrier if the best you can do is put a Cessna 150 on it without it capsizing.
Yeah.
Yeah, Cessna 150s aren't a great fighter bomber.
So about that air group you used to have.
Yeah, but they will frustrate the hell out of it and make 29, won't they? God damn it, it's gone. Oh, let me try it again. God damn it, I missed it.
It's too goddamn slow. Yeah.
Gotta love the Navy.
I love that check every month.
5,000 sailors put to sea, 2,500 couples come home.
Yeah.
No, that's a submarine joke. You got it all wrong.
The submarine joke. Which is in the Navy, though.
That's the Navy.
100 men go down on a submarine, 50 couples emerge.
Yeah.
The Navy, where they separate the men from the boys with a crowbar.
The thing that always amazes me, I was doing a course. I'm in Command and Staff College right now, and I've got this course that I'm taking, and we got to thinking about it. Do you know what the largest Air Force in the world is by far? It's the United States Air Force. Do you know what the second largest Air Force in the world is? Well above
the U.S. Navy.
The U.S. Navy. And, and if you combine either of them, they're like head and shoulders above anybody else, I mean,
and both
we don't even need the Air Force. The Navy probably kick everybody else's ass.
Yeah, we have the best fighter pilots in the world by far. You can give a foreign nation superior aircrafts, and we will still, put all of them on the ground.
Probably before they even see us.
Well, we know where all the secret switches are.
But we have the secret flat Earth maps.
Yeah, we have the secret flat Earth maps that we know. Because NASA works for us. Oh, by the way, we did the math again the other day. It's NASA gets $61 million a day now, not 52.
Good. It's not enough. They need more.
Yeah, that's a rounding error for DoD.
Pretty much.
Yeah, good God. Well, the good news about the DoD is even when the wings come off the airplane, you can still make coffee.
Huh.
Oh, dear.
With $52 million a day, I'll bring Mad Mike back to life in a week.
61.
Jose, keep up to date with the Flat Earth debate. It's 61.
Yeah, don't be working off old news. In fact, it's not news, it's olds.
Somebody called me a talk rat the other day.
A what?
A talk rat. TOC rat.
Well, apparently I'm an FBI agent. That's the latest comment that I got.
Yeah, but we all knew that, Cliff. I mean, that's not exactly surprising, is it? Come on.
Well, no.
Cliff, you check the fire extinguishers. Make sure they're all full.
Fight the Flat Earth and I were CIA agents. Apparently now I work for the FBI.
Oh.
Well, it's kind of interesting that Fight the Flat Earth is a CIA agent, considering he's freaking British.
Yeah. I didn't think
that's what Flat Earth Fokker said about us. He said that we were.
Flat Earth Fokker. Yes, that unparalleled reservoir of knowledge. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh,
is he in jail yet for being an asshole?
No, he's still on his nonsense. I checked his channel the other day. He's still doing the whole fake thing that cannot be said thing.
Mm.
You know, I mean, the Canadians are really kind of cool people, but I think even they have their breaking limits. I mean, he's the type of person that would make a Canadian swear. Sorry.
Time to put on the handcuffs, eh?
Hey, if you really want to mess with a flat earther, tell them you work for the Israeli Defense Force. They will lose.
How on earth will we find room to bury them all? And you know what? That's a guy who's got huevos of steel.
Yeah.
I haven't actually heard that. That's badass.
That's some Churchill level comment right there.
Yep.
Yeah, that was a good one. And the other thing is the most successful sniper in the world was Finnish, and he didn't even use a scope.
No. He used the old iron sights, didn't he?
This is a guy who sat in a snowbank, sucking on snow so his breath wouldn't fog. That is a freaking hardcore true believer.
Oh, yes.
Yes, Mr. Howhat.
I just thought I'd let you guys know that if you have the inclination to register a Gmail account under government NASA Jew Penguin, it's already been taken.
Is that yours?
A friend of a friend.
What a god.
Friend of a friend. It's yours, isn't it?
Asking for a friend, yeah.
Yeah.
That's my biggest concern about that, because I thought that was the funniest thing I'd ever heard. And I used it in one of my videos once, and then I just thought, oh my God, they're going to think I'm anti-Semitic. Oh no. But it was funny.
Yeah, lying in snow, covering an enemy position is hardcore.
Yeah.
Yeah, but the thing that's even worse than the lying in the snow was that he would suck on snow continuously so his breath wouldn't fog. Can you imagine just doing that for like 8 hours in Finland?
Yeah.
In Finland, of all places. You know,
how do you not get frostbite?
Well, one of my friends is ex SAS. He was in the Falklands, and there was, I think there was 6 of them, and they were lying down. Just they weren't. It wasn't they weren't attacking a position or anything, but just reconnaissance. And they were sitting there for hours and hours, and it started to snow, and they eventually got completely covered in snow. But after a couple of hours of being completely covered in snow, my friend Kenny had broke cover. You're not supposed to do it, but he was like, Christ, I might be by myself. And he put his head up, and he looked to his left and his right, and there was just little humps of snow. Where the rest of the guys were. They were all just sitting there for hours.
I think it was SAS who were the guys that came up with the saying that anybody worth shooting is worth shooting twice.
Sounds about right.
Tap.
Yeah, double tap just to make sure.
One of the chest, tap.
Yep.
Fuck.
The Mogadishu triple trap. 2 center mass, 1 in the head.
He was an extraordinary guy, Kenny. Falkland veteran, Bosnia, all sorts. But unfortunately, quite a damaged individual because of.
Who are you talking about, Nathan Thompson?
Fucking Nathan Thompson. Kenny would wipe his arse with Nathan Thompson.
That kind of work changes you, man. That changes you.
Right. We don't call them double taps anymore. They're called control.
Controlled.
Controlled what?
Censored.
So when you fire twice, to call them double taps, as if you're just going. But guys, who thought they were Rambo were just doing the bang bang, and so they switched the name to controlled pairs, so that it gets through to newer guys that both rounds are aimed, but when you get really, really good at it, it sounds like bang bang, even though they are both aimed.
The problem that you run into is you don't want to put the second round through the same hole. So you got to offset it. The idea is to do more damage, not make the rubble bounce.
Yeah. You want them about an inch apart. Yeah.
Don't ask me how I know that.
Okay.
But from that first recoil, you get just enough muzzle rise to re-aim and put it about an inch above the other one.
They teach you that in doctor school?
Bob, how'd you know that?
Doctor school.
Doctor school. Making flat earth videos, man.
Yeah, I think you would learn that in an ER rotation in a major city.
What is the flat earth equivalent of the double tap?
When I was a medic in the Army, I was a medic in the Army and I was a paramedic in Lansing, Michigan. I actually saw far more actual bullet wounds and trauma in the civilian side than I did on the military.
Well, you got to get yourself into a war to see the bullet holes in the military.
Yeah, I was going to say you must have served during peacetime.
There were no wars. I did. I was back in the 80s, back in when Reagan was buying us all sorts of new toys. I even got a new helmet and a gun.
Yeah, we actually still had some of that left over when I was in. I was like, well, how old is this stuff?
You know, I was sitting there one day in Fort Custer in Michigan, and, you know, I had my rifle across my lap, and I happened to look down on it and, you know, flipped it around and looked at the magazine well, and I saw the thing, and it said Armalite on it. And its serial number was like 579, and I'm going.
If it was an Armalite, that thing was old as hell.
Yeah, I've never even heard of
and
that.
the serial number was like 572.
So you know how they're called?
Holy shit! I'm holding a museum piece, and it still looks new.
So you know how they're called? It's called an AR-15. Everybody thinks that stands for assault rifle. It doesn't. It stands for Armalite rifle.
Yeah.
Armalite was the original company who made that weapon. So the one that you had, Bob, didn't even have the forward assist button on it, did it? Where you tap it to send the bolt
Actually,
home if
it
it's
did.
not all the way. Oh,
It
so it's
actually
backfitted
did.
probably.
Yeah, it might have been backfitted, but the
Or
thing
it
about
was
it,
the
you
A1.
can't-
It was
oh.
probably the A1 version.
Oh, you can't.
oh yeah,
yeah,
it was an A1, obviously. Yeah,
yeah. Yeah, it had to be the A1 if it had a forward assist on it.
yeah, it was an A1.
Right.
There was no retrofit in that.
That forward assist.
It was probably circa 1968 is when it
That
was built,
made all the
probably when Armalite was still
difference in the
doing it.
world. Yeah.
Well, yeah, it doesn't work if you don't have it.
That forward assist
Armalite?
mechanism was part of the casting in the upper receiver group,
Yeah.
top end.
Yeah.
That was one of the modifications they made to the M16 to turn it into an A1.
Yeah, they changed the powder on the round too.
They chromed the parts of the upper receiver.
Chromed it. Yeah, they chromed it. Chroming makes it a little bit less accurate, but that's not a reach out and touch your rifle.
It's pretty damn accurate at 300 yards.
It'll go to 5, but you know it's not a 1,000-yard rifle. Although they do
No.
have some specialized ones for it. They do have some specialized ones they use for the marksmanship team. But that chrome cuts back on the accuracy. But
oh, the A1 stock.
now the civilian.
They had so many.
Now the AR-15s,
Right.
a lot of them don't have a chrome barrel, and they're more accurate. The
Well, it's a
civilian one.
civilian rifle.
Yeah.
Straight out of the box, though, an M16A1 will nail a 300-yard target, a 300-yard silhouette 100% of the time.
Yep.
I had the chance to fire M16A2 that it was like a different version that they had tested out that went full auto. And I got to fire it on full auto. And it's number one, you can't control that. You don't know what you're shooting at. It's just, it's crazy. And in the second place, this is the biggest one. It felt like it was catching fire in my hands. Like it was so hot that you couldn't even touch it. You had to put the whole weapon away because you know how like a tailpipe on a motorcycle will burn you. That's how you could feel that kind of heat coming off of it. And if you would have touched it, it would have been bad, really bad.
Well, that's why they give you a sling.
Well, that's why those forearm
So you take
pieces
off the back end of the sling and you stand on it, and then you shoot it.
And that's why machine guns have quick release barrels, because they get so hot, you have to switch them over.
Yeah, full auto is just spray and pray.
Yeah, you're not you think you're going to, you're not.
Well, your first round might hit something, but
yeah.
I remember my brother saying that they had GPMG machine guns with interchangeable barrels, and you're supposed to change them over after a certain amount of rounds. I can't remember how many, but they just kind of kept going, and then eventually they couldn't get the barrel off to change it, so they just kept going. And he said that you could actually see the tracer rounds going down the barrel, like through the barrel, which is quite extraordinary.
Barrel, man.
The M60 is notorious for having red hot barrels after basically, running through a belt.
There you go. Check out that handsome devil.
Look at that happy smiling face.
Is that you in the second row?
Nah, that's me right there in the front.
Oh my gosh.
You smart ass.
Now
You
you
had
can
a nice
tell the hair,
haircut.
too. You see, he's got white T-shirt on. Yeah, he's got a
Yeah.
white
I had to do a
T-shirt on, which
voiceover
meant
for that
he wore the
picture.
pickle suit.
If I had to do a voiceover for that picture, Blue, it would sound something like Carl. I like little taters and fried taters and mustard on my biscuit. Just based on that look on your face.
Actually, I think I was gonna say if this motherfucker goes over this one more time, I'm gonna be so pissed.
Note the prominent placement of the Road Guard flashlight right here. I am the only human being on the planet ever to do 10 consecutive weeks as a Road Guard. Ever.
That's a special trait, man.
You had to do it over and over, like for consecutive, did you say? 10 consecutive weeks?
Yeah, my drill instructor made me Road Guard.
Who'd you piss off?
In the fourth squad, and I never got off of it. Everybody else had to do it for a week. I did it for 10 weeks.
God. Oh, it's so funny.
So you still were pissing people off back then.
I'm like the command sergeant major of Road Guards.
You should have got a ribbon for it.
At least y'all didn't have those silly reflective belts like the Army does now.
God,
They
the
wear those
No.
things in the daytime.
We had to wear a reflective vest. That damn plastic friggin' vest.
Well, no.
You're
I'm
damn
not
right.
talking about for road guards. I'm talking about for everybody.
Yeah.
Oh.
They wear them during the daytime,
Yep.
and we laugh.
Yep.
And you want to hear the funny part? In 10 weeks of that, I don't think I ever stopped a single fucking vehicle. Not one.
Yeah, well, you're running at like 4 o'clock in the morning or something like that too.
Yeah, I think I chased a
Okay.
couple of dogs, I think, or something, but I don't remember ever stopping a single damn vehicle.
No, they had us in everything we owned was reflective. Our PT uniforms reflected.
Yep,
Then
the
we had
letters.
then we had to put the reflective belt on. We had to have reflective tape on everything. I don't know
Blue.
why. It just happened one day.
Blue, you didn't stop a car because they knew you were there. You were a deterrent. They were like, "Don't go
You were
that
the
way."
sergeant major of road guards.
See, they knew.
You were the
They
sergeant
knew.
majy road guard.
Don't even bother
Nobody
going down
steers
that
with
road.
sergeant majors.
I was by far better shape than anybody else in the entire basic training company.
Did you
Two ways about it.
Did you serve during Vietnam?
I went through all my training during Vietnam. I didn't go to Vietnam or do any of that shit. I was an Army Reserve. So
Was that terrifying to even think about? Like that you might go?
yeah, if you go, you go. You know, I wasn't particularly worried about it. I was quite happy not to go. I didn't really want to go.
Yeah.
Nice. It was a 6-year commitment in the active reserves, but it's got to be active reserves. Okay. So I went and did that. It was actually pretty stupid because I'd already done better part of a year on active, just getting through school. Hell, they were giving 18-month early outs all, left, right, and center. I should have just said, fuck you, I'm staying in. But, when somebody, at that point in my life, somebody said, you can go if, I didn't even hear the rest of the sentence. I was out the door.
Yeah. My dad's 2 older brothers went, and they both came back. But my dad had volunteered too. But I think it was after 1974, and then he said that the war was over or something, so he didn't have to go. But my one uncle, he just passed away recently, but he was Marine Force Recon in some weird place over there, and that's how I have a Korean aunt now. But Yeah, he spent a lot of time in Asia.
There's a story behind that.
It was, he couldn't talk about it. And my other uncle, he had, from what I understand, he had the, many years, up until like the 80s and 90s, had trouble sleeping. And like if you made noise, like my cousins told me about this, if you would make noise in the middle of the night, he'd freak out. So you could not possibly sneak out of your house as if you were a child of his, because if he heard you, he would, just switch back into that mode of waking up and hearing somebody moving, So it's pretty creepy and scary, I guess, but I feel really bad for those guys. And it just makes me wonder what these guys today, the war veterans, are feeling, because I never had to go into the theater either. So, but I treated some of them. I just wonder if it's affecting them as well.
Let me just tell you something that's a little bit different. During World War II, soldiers served for the duration plus 6 months for the most part. So, I mean, you could be in the Army for 6 years in combat.
Yeah.
However, if you looked at the way they fought that war, you would probably spend, in 4 years, you'd probably be actively engaged in combat for like 2.5, 3 months. The rest of the time you were in garrison and doing other things. You weren't in actual contact with the enemy. You get these guys in Vietnam, they went in for a year and it was 24/7 because it was everywhere. The same thing goes on right now. And the other thing that's a little bit different that they're doing right now is they only rotated you through combat once in Vietnam. Now they're bringing guardsmen and reservists and active army in for tour after tour after tour because the army's so much smaller. And these guys are actually really getting fucked up.
Yeah, I think so too.
Yeah. In 22 years, I did 9 deployments.
Wow.
Which prior to 9/11 would have been unheard of.
Wow.
So what do I feel? Nothing.
Well, I wonder if it's not the bonus pay, to go back. Is that part of the problem?
The pay is good. I mean, you get paid when you're in theater. There's no doubt about that.
Yeah.
Which is an incentive to go back, especially if you have a family. And, for a lot of the war, what were the prospects, after you left? Not great.
That's true.
I think during my time period, we absolutely grossly underutilized the reserves. We should have been more involved in that stuff.
Yes. Well, they were really looking at them as reserves at that point, though, weren't they?
It was looked at that way. But I think back on it, and I think about the amount of money it must have cost the taxpayers to train me and all that stuff, and then it didn't end. I was getting a check every month for showing up on Tuesday nights for 4 hours to shoot chest X-rays of the guys that were going through having physicals done.
Yeah.
And for what? I mean, goddamn, I actually did learn how to do all that shit. They could have used me, but they didn't. What can I say?
I'm surprised you didn't want to go into the medical field after that, though. I mean, you could have been, Dr. Blue.
Oh, hell.
Did y'all know D. Marble was in the Army?
I did. I had heard that.
Yeah, he was really worried about going to Vietnam until they told him it had been over for 40 years.
Oh, for fuck's sake.
God. The D stands for dumb,
D Marble is a walking, talking potential.
Got that in my kid's book.
I like that. Signing out diamonds.
I think about with my pistol. I think in my entire military career, I fired 62 rounds with it. I mean, they didn't give you fucking bullets.
They didn't, and you didn't go to the range very often with your pistol range. You just go with the with the M16
now, the rifle
range.
I fired a lot more, but still, it was, hey, and in July we might get 20 rounds apiece to go down and qualify. Oh, cool! I get to go bang.
When
You know,
when I
like,
was at SEAL Team 2 towards the end of my career, and I wasn't even a SEAL, and they had somebody's got a hot mic.
Ken, why not?
found some Twitch.
Ken, I'm going to mute you.
Okay. Yeah. So I wasn't even a SEAL when I was at SEAL Team 2, but we had a maximum number of rounds that we could keep in our personal locker, not even in the armory. We could keep military ammo in our locker just in case we wanted to go to the range. And I think it was something like 200 rounds of 9mm and about 500 of 5.56.
Did they keep track of it?
It was accounted for, but loosely. So if you went to the range, you said how many rounds you shot at the end. So I'm not saying that there's some military ammo in my gun safe, but I'm not saying there's not.
We had to turn in the brass.
Yep.
I remember that. That all changed 9/11. All those rules got loosened up. Because believe it or not, prior to 9/11, even special forces were being rationed ammo. That all changed.
The other thing that was really weird too is that we had to turn our weapons into the armory every time. You know, when we had to go check them out, and we had to turn them right back in. You know, they didn't even keep the rifles in the barracks with you.
Really?
Yeah.
It wasn't downstairs in the basement or anything?
No, it's another building.
Wow.
Yeah. And, you know, every morning we had to go spend an hour and check out our weapons, and then we had to go do hua shit all day, and then in the evening we had to clean them and turn them back in.
Interesting.
They saw Full Metal Jacket.
That might have been. Oh, yeah. You know, you'd get somebody like Blue Marble Science or BM Furball. If they caught you with a round or with a piece of brass, you'd get a visit from somebody like him.
No shit.
Yeah.
Yeah, do not walk off the range with a piece of brass in your pocket.
Yeah.
Oh, is he cadre?
No.
Oh.
Ouch! You guys hear me there? I know it has been a shitty quality video. There was something. At least there was something. There was visuals, right? That was me painting my side door. I'm painting my front door. This one right here, it's got some boo-boos. It's got a boo-boo there. It's got a boo-boo here. It's got boo-boos in there too. But it's looking good. So at some point tomorrow, I'm gonna boost the star. The star is gonna be boosted and cool. And I'm gonna fix that little edge, and I'm gonna fix this edge right here. So it's good. I'm happy with my background door now. I went earlier, bought me the little red paint can. I already had the blue and the white. It's looking good. Just like the hat, man. Just like the hat. Red, white, and blue, the theme. Shout out to everybody that was here. Shout out to Reishi5. Oh, good to see you here. That I was able to provide you guys with a chat box to hang out. It was slightly different. I just needed to do that little short thing. And I needed to share with you. This sucks. The signal is really bad. But thank you guys. Shout out Citizen9. Thank you for becoming a member of the channel, brother. Earlier. Appreciate it. See, at least we got something. We got a membership. We didn't have super chats. We didn't have PayPals. We had nothing. Just a place to come in and hang out. among friends, peers, and arguers. That is not Polaris. This is the logo of Captain Puerto Rico. You know that Captain America guy? Bullshit. Captain Puerto Rico. That's right. I like it. Now it's gonna look cool when I'm coming around and I'm want to look at my house. I can see us. I can look at something big, big red door and big Puerto Rican flag door. Now I got them both. Big red door and a Puerto Rican flag door. Hell yeah! Shout out to everybody. Thank you for watching. We're gonna get out of here. I'm gonna go take a shower. I didn't get much paint. I got a little bit of paint, and not too much. I did good. I did not the clothes. Oh, I was gonna say I didn't get the clothing. Oh man, what the fuck? Oh, son of a bitch. Ah, I guess the painting one. I didn't think I was gonna get messed up. Understood, Citizen 9. Thank you so much, man. Yeah, this the way I'm streaming this and recording is my laptop that I use as a guest when I do my live shows. The one that I used to stream with is inside. I need to set up the 2 laptops and do a lot of plugging and connection and microphone. It's a big setup. As for right now, I just wanted to do the door. I said I just want to do something for you guys, and this is what I did. I just pulled the easier laptop to pull out and set it up for you guys. And in case if the paint drop on it, I already painted number 3 and letter F. One is blue, one is red right there. So yeah, if I don't get paint all over myself, I ain't doing it right. You're correct, Stone Monkey. You got that right, brother. But I've been good. It took me that week off. We'll be back tomorrow. I was gonna do a live show yesterday, actually, and early in the morning, my sister called. She said, "Hey, I'm gonna stop by your house in a few hours, from noon. Maybe around noon or a few hours after, and I'm gonna bring a bottle of wine. And I'm gonna bring pizza, and I just want to hang out with you." And that was fantastic. But she came over late. It was like 2 or 3 p.m. somewhere around there. And she stayed here till like midnight. And hey, we had a blast, man. We laughed, we made jokes and all that stuff. It was fun. Hang on, my sister. Earth is live with the $10 super chat before we get out of here, man. Thank you so much, man. We were looking at old photos, family photos, me and my sister, when we were like 4 and 5 years old. And you got I got 2 brothers and 2 sisters. I'm the youngest one. So there was my two brothers in the back, my sister in the middle, my one sister in the middle, and then my sister and I in the front because we were the 2 shorter ones. And we were exactly the same height. We had exactly the same face. Exactly. And I had a big hair, but she had a kind of the big hair with the hair was like in the size like Princess Leia, but we were exactly the same. We did a little Photoshop and we exchanged the hair. We blocked the hair, like we painted around the hair both, and we were both exactly the same face. And we remember people used to ask us, "Are they twins?" We are 2 years apart, but when we were maybe up to 11 years old, till I was 11, we were exactly the same. Now, after that, I stretched up and I grew up. She stayed short and I grew up, Man Devil, that's exactly what I was doing, man. Just painting my door. I got a few boo-boos. I got a boo-boo there. I got a boo-boo here. I got a boo-boo over here, somewhere around here. But I'm gonna fix it later. It's still kind of wet, but it's good. I'm happy, man. Happy with my new door. It was really shitty looking. And now I can put maybe my, I don't know if the JG clock will apply here. Maybe. Or I'll just put it right there. I'll just put it right there. There you go. The stamp. The JG clock. And now we got the squeaky earth. Actually, yeah, let me do it. You still have something to look at in the background. JG clock is not going to be seen because on my streams, you're going to kind of see this angle right here. Yeah, it's good. I can set it up to look like something like this. Yep. It's good. I like it. I like it. Oh, that's fun, man. Yeah, thank you very much, everybody, guys. I miss you, and hopefully I can be here tomorrow for a live show. Hit the like button if you can, if you enjoy the show, if you had a little bit of fun. Try to get the frogs looking over here. There you go. And hit the like, make sure to subscribe and all that good stuff. Support content creators, support each other. Don't treat each other like shit too much, man. Don't try to bring too much personal attack into the discussions and the arguments. There's no need. There's really no need. We can have fun and we can banter, we can do a little banter and a little back and forth at each other, but there's no need to be nasty and ugly to each other. There's really no need, man. Take care of yourself, take care of each other, be safe out there. Jose JG out. Boom.